spooky stories of tales from the crypt. Oh, this tree. Tales from the tree. Enjoying the rain. Thought I'd comment on my last post. People probably confused. They say, oh no, Jesus was just Jesus. He was just one person. That's who he is forever, you know. Well, no. All sorts of people. You don't just arrive in the universe as Jesus and that's who you stay forever. You're not just one person throughout your whole entire eternity of your development and your evolution in the whole world. Otherwise the world would have just been Earth like it is now with buildings and everything, and we'd all be stuck in one place, static, like that forever. That's who we are. But the world changes. It starts off small and it develops, and we start off as little amoebas and things, and then turn into fish, and then turn into land animals, and then turn into apes, and turn to humans. And after a long time, it's not designed Earth to be any one way. It's how we behave which decides our future. So say we just decide to be really bad to each other, well, our future will be different. If we decide to be really good to each other, our future will be much better. I experienced a lot of horrific bad feelings and things from something which happened to me, so I didn't want that to happen to other people. So I decided, and also I glimpsed the spirit world. I believed in it, so I started to unravel some of life's mysteries that made sense to me about who I am, and believing in love, believing in heaven, believing in God, believing in other things. I don't just believe in God and that's it. I believe God's a stepping stone to other things as well, becoming other things. And I believe a superpower is one of my destinies, because in my journey through Earth, I've always been like someone who wanted to change things and pave the way to other greater things. So, and it didn't always come off well. I was always sometimes, like this life, it's gone well for me, but not many other people have come on the journey with me. So it's when Captain Cook, that journey, that was a success. Everything went perfectly, except some people got killed, some people got eaten, some people went crazy. People like Burke and Wills died in the desert, and other people we sent out to explore and stuff like that. That was just one person I was, and I loved Australia so much. I didn't want to, really stay away from it too long. I had other things to do. I had to go off and, at times I wasn't just the one person. I was like an army, sort of like. It's hard to describe the spirit world, how it works. When it needs to. I don't like to say sort of it's destined, because it validates people's bad behaviour. So saying Jesus was destined to be crucified to make the world this way, well, no, he could have been crowned a king and the world would be much better. It would be like the Jetsons or something by now. But because he's been crucified, the world suffered all sorts of wars and all sorts of horrible, bloody, brutal battles and murders and stuff over, the guilt and the blame and the shame and what they did to them, that man. And it's basically because the world, like a long time ago, the world was absolutely stunning, when God ruled the world and was just the powerhouse behind the world. There was no conflicts, there was no wars, there was no... something set off a chain where they realised they could kill God and they could hurt him, and he'd have to come back and defend himself again. And, they just wanted to keep trying to rub him out. But I'm not sure why exactly. I mean, I know, but I don't want to go into it. But, the idea that you want to kill off your greatest asset just so you can go and rape and pillage and, sadly, all those people that do that don't come back. But it's sort of like a disease that's spread on the earth, this sort of idea to rape and pillage and take what's not yours. And we've gotten used to that idea that we can just do what we want, that attitude that, nothing bad will happen to us, we can just do what we like, and it doesn't matter if we hurt people, Jesus will save us, Jesus will, we killed him, so he'll be kind to us and he'll save us. Well, I don't think anyone from that period when Jesus was crucified, any of those people survived. I think they're all gone. Jesus unleashed his army after he was crucified. Again, this is what happens. His army comes into play and takes over the work, and they call it Reformation, where he does all his work to come back to himself again, and that's what I did. Probably took 2,000 years to get to that point where I could come back to this person I am now. So excuse me, so I could do that sneeze. And I've been all sorts of people in that time to get back to this spot and to do all this work to reclaim what was tried to be. Oh, the cold air. So I've done all sorts of things to try and reclaim the life that I wanted out of life. Was a romantic one, really. I mean, and as much as I probably look like I haven't done much, I'm just on my own and I'm stuck in a tent and I'm with a dog and, I'm just enjoying my car, my solar panels, my fridge. Maybe it doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot to me to get from where I was a few years ago, But in that time, what I've done is developed an unshakable, immortal, eternal heaven. And a lot of that was the work of the last century, like creating Disney, creating all these, not just Disney, other programs and books and things I'd written and music and, as Mozart, Da Vinci. I wasn't all the artists, I'm not saying, I was just mainly the most remembered ones, the ones that had the most impact, and I can see it in the design of the art, and that it has similarities to the way I do things, so usually very grandiose. This time I've just created a heaven which is grandiose, and the design of God's work that goes out into the world to develop this beautiful idea of having a paradise, and the world will probably change colour. It will become a pink sort of world, this beautiful sort of, instead of grey and blue and misty and sort of, it'll become sort of this Ken and Barbie world, and the way we treat it is ridiculous, like it's some kind of joke, like we make movies that are all camp and kitchen. But a Barbie world is just Ken and Barbie world is something I want to do for my wife if she ever finds me and marries me. Is create a world that she would really love, where we're all like Ken and Barbie. Everyone has their perfect bodies, and I can see the design would work. And then that towards the future, I think should be more of a super-powered sort of superhero world. Everyone's sort of supermen and women, and they can sort of fly around and don't really need technical contraptions and things to rely on. We're all superpowered. We can fly where we need to go. And for the whole world to be like that, you'd have to pass through a Ken and Barbie world where everyone's sort of... Ken and Barbie, I just use those names, but because they're the ones we know, and we love those names. I love the names Ken and Barbie. I think they're beautiful, but it's just about being your authentic, beautiful self. You really believe you are inside, and shining that on the outside and being perfect in a way, being sort of like Adonis or Aphrodite, or those sort of pictures I found were sort of Adonis and Aphrodite. They're kind of Ken and Barbie to me, sort of perfect, sort of clean, no evil, the magic just shines around their world. Like the evil's not a negative force, it's a positive one of magic. So that's God's design in a way to become a Ken and Barbie world. And the world would sort of shine pink. It would be beautiful. Instead of being sort of a grey, green, dully sort of blue sort of shine, it would shine this beautiful love. And I'm talking probably many thousands of years into the future, but I think it's something we can all do, is just slowly work towards this world of where there's no harm so much. So some things might happen, but it's not just a brutal killing of all life on Earth. Basically, that's what we're doing. So, Trigger's into it. He likes the design, so he's happy to help make a Ken and Barbie world. So, I remember it's just about being authentic and being perfect in the way you are, and not feeling, oh gee, they're better than me, or that I have to be better than them, or I have to have more than them, or we're all the same, we're all sort of Ken and Barbies, so it's not about getting rid of anyone. It's about bringing out their better, more beautiful, more sort of stunning self. We're all affected by factors on the earth that affect the way we develop, the way that we grow, and things we're lacking, things we're denied, and we should have all the things that we need to be perfect the way we are, without being kind of losing our identity and just being androgynous, and that being the opposite, being full of identity, full of personality and beauty and identity and everything. So when people say, oh, Jesus is going to say, Jesus is long gone. He's not even relevant anymore. That's 2,000 years past. That's a long time ago to still be thinking, oh, someone's Jesus. It's like, no. I've been so many other beings and things, and to get to this point, to coming back to being the body of Christ. It's and all it is, the body of Christ is just the person who develops heaven. My spirit, my soul, which is all sorts of beings on earth, develops heaven. So, which is a powerful force you can believe in or you can marry. I totally, absolutely gave my heart and soul to the whole process, and so yeah, I'm just a nice person. So I'm easy to approach, I'm easy to love, I'm easy to get to know and be friends with, and I'm not likely to reject anyone. But if you're really bad to me, I will. But Anyway, I'm not trying to take over the world or anything. It's just more of helping other people become the best they can be, and I'm just another life force, and you should love that like you love everything else. We all have the ability to become superpowered, so I think we should, that's where I'm going. I don't care what anyone else says. I'm going to a Ken and Barbie world, and then beyond that, a superpowered world, and beyond that, something else. I'm going to develop the world in a positive light, in a positive way, not a detrimental, disgusting, debaucherous, evil, dark, sinister. It's not going that way in my world. My world's going to be, nurturing, beautiful, energizing, hopeful, all the opposite stuff that creates magic. That's what I like doing, creating magic. So magic in my world is a surprise. It's like your wife waking up surrounded by roses or something. It's the unexpected happening, and it happens very small to me in little ways, tiny little ways. So I'm not really married, so I don't waste it. So but my inner self, my inner child's laughing, doing nice little funny things to me, and at the moment they kind of just leave me wondering, but they're not bad, but they're just not that interesting, because I'm not going to waste it just on myself, am I? I want to be married, and it might just be a funny little bird might come and land on my windscreen or something, or my window, and say funny little things to his friend and fly away, little magical little messages and little happenings, little creations, and that's what I want, and an endless, unending, wondrous world I can sit and wonder about, and I don't want to know all the secrets. That's all for some other part of me somewhere deep inside, which doesn't have this experience, but can create the experience for me to enjoy and live. And so that's my pioneering I've done this lifetime. People say, oh, you just went through mental health. Yeah, but what is that? That is a very deep, very important, very, it's not something I had to go through, but I got through it, and I learned a lot about myself, a lot about the world, and a lot about my body and mind, and how the earth operates, how spirits and beings and things relate, and they're all just as important as your physical body. Your spirit is very important to nurture and keep healthy, and if you're just going to nurture evil thoughts and evil feelings, and it's almost like you're dousing yourself in poison all the time, poisoning your soul. So if you want to do that to your spiritual body, it's going to reflect on your physical body eventually. Whereas mine's starting to go back to a good form and good, like it went through all that poison, all the medicines and stuff, which is not poison as such, but it's not good for your body. It really stuffs your body around. It changes all the chemical sort of structures. So that's all got back to normal. So I'm just getting my body shape back now. It's, making love helps a lot, but till I find someone I can be with, I'll still work on my belly and that, trying to, straighten up my body. And I did a workout the other day called bar sculpt, and it's sort of what ballet dancers use, using the bar to balance and then do stretches, and I found it fantastic. I kept up mostly. I felt a bit sick during. I got a bit of burps in my belly and felt a bit sick, so I had to sit down for 10 minutes. But yeah, I kept up with that. Like, I found it really. I can't release much because it's all sexual tension in me. I have to sort of release sexually, but I can just stretch and keep things very loose and all that kind of thing. But yeah, like I'm pretty much as good as I can be. I can try and reduce my belly a bit. It's not going to reduce much. A lot of it's my diaphragm. relates to my sexual development, really, the way I look. So my belly's fairly normal. The rest of my body's stunted. So it's held in. And my belly's been fed all the food at once. So the rest of me hasn't been fed all the stuff it needs, like exercise, love, all the other things that you need to help develop all your muscles and all your body and all your sexual organs, and which I'm comfortable talking about. Other people get a bit, you can't say that, but that's the truth. Sex really helps develop your body. Look at the sexiest people in the world have a lot of sex. They look fucking, awesome. You don't get an awesome body like that just working out. You've got to have a lot of sex and a lot of fun and passion and romance and happiness, and it's all very important to develop your body with a lot of the good chemicals by being really happy too. So I'm at a point in my life, I'm still got heaps of life ahead to do all those things, but just meeting the right girl, I don't know, not sure where, not sure where she is, so I'll keep looking, but so yeah, look, I know you're all addicted to your religions and the fear idea that if you don't do it, you're going to go to hell or something, but religion doesn't decree that you're a good person. You might be a really rotten person using religion as a cover-up to get money or get sex or get the things that you want in life, sort of, deceptively, which is trying to take it from someone else. But some religious people are probably very lovely people, there's probably a lot that aren't, but I think I've had my fair share of run-ins with some of them, but not really in person, just doing stuff behind my back. And you got to understand, Jesus, one figurehead in history who was basically, murdered to death. I mean, why focus on that over and over and over and over again? Focus on someone else I've been like, Captain Cook's a good example. He was a success, totally, revolutionized the whole concept of colonization by including indigenous into their culture. They could have gone and killed them all and then just took over the land. They didn't. You might think they were very abusive, but it's just the way cultures like, the English or, they don't think like, like they were very well developed. They had the latest technology, they had the latest inventions and the latest clothing and fashions, and it's almost like saying someone high up, like in the fashion world, would come down and treat someone the same on street level, just not even just wearing, I don't know, I can't think of an example, but like Pretty Woman, how she walks into that store and they go, oh, she's a loose woman, a prostitute or something, and oh, we don't want your service here. It's kind of like that, where they're elite and they're sort of elitist, and that's kind of how the first fleet were. They got into town, they're like, oh, these little guys, we can round them up and we'll settle the place and we'll create order, and they're not going to go there and shake their hands and say we're on the same level. They're going to think, we're the dominant force here, so do what we say. So that's just the way they would have thought at the time. So it's not something they did that was an evil act or anything. They were just trying to colonize and settle native people on a new land. So they would have met some resistance, but I'd say many million Aboriginals would have died, and there would have been a few thousand colonists would have died. So No one's denying that. It's the way it happens all through history when other cultures take over another place. And I've sort of I don't believe in that anymore. So I sort of put an end to it. I just create heaven for whoever's good. So you might think that's kind of the same thing, you know. Oh, we're not worthy of your world because we're not good. But being good can be is whatever's good for heaven. So it can be anything, whatever's good. Just bring your best self, and heaven will probably accept you if that's what you want. And heaven's just the future. It's the promise of eternal life. So if you're a good person in the world and you're willing to help out and willing to put in the effort, well, the world will reward you with longer life. So it'll say, yeah, we want you back. You know, it's not going to want someone back, the world, especially not the animal kingdom. And if you're going to be cruel and unkind to them, you know, they're going to just say no, you know. And we've all killed animals before, but it's the cruelty that really gets animals down, you know, just that constant cruel attitude towards them, like they don't matter, you know. They're providing a lot of food and a lot of benefits to us, and we're not doing much for them. We're just cutting down their habitats and not really creating a world that they really want to enjoy either. No, I want a Ken and Barbie world that has a beautiful animal kingdom that's really united and with us. And where would we be without bird song? I mean, honestly, all the other little animals were missing all their noises and things. And I saw a couple of deer the other day. It's so beautiful. I mean, how can we just shoot them down and eat them and just not consider, you know, their benefit to the world too, you know? So, yeah. I eat what's offered. If it's in the supermarket, I'll eat it. If it's just vegetables, I'll eat it. But I don't waste food or meat. If it's there, I'll eat it. But I think it's nearly time to start packing it up. You know, there's killing animals to eat them all. You know, we've got to think more humanely. But yeah, we'll find alternate means. I think one thing that I've thought about is beefsteak trees, which are sort of like trees which create these green sort of steaks that when you cook them turn red. And they just taste exactly like a beefsteak, you know. So that's something nature will provide. You don't have to go out of your way to do science. Eventually, in a better world, nature will provide all these things we need if we're kind to it. If we stop killing animals, nature, the plants will respond and create things that replace that for us. So I've seen the evidence before. I remember things like that happening. So memory is a great tool. It's a great asset. So don't ever discount memories that you have, especially dating a long way back. You know, it really, really helps to get a broader picture of how things work and how things, you know, create and develop and operate. So, yeah. Anyway, signing out. Evan, signing out. Evan on Earth. They're not alien antennae. It's peace, man. Peace. I won't do. I was gonna. I better not.